MNLH Golf here. I'm Brett, as always, joined by Nate here, and we're going to talk a little bit about the LIV Tour and what it looks like with Jon Rahm now that he is signed with them. Exciting news for me as a LIV guy. I like it. It's good news for me. Nate, not so much, being the Homer. I don't know if that's the right word, but just the PGA Tour guy, legacy, honor. I like change. Things happening like this are good for the game. Okay, things are changing. People are getting paid more money, and it's keeping people accountable. It's like the NFL needs a sister league to keep them accountable for the money that they're not
Whoa.
giving these players and stuff like that. So the big move, Live Tour just coming around, already made. They have caddies dinner. They have more porta potties. They have car service. They have a cold plunge at every tour spot now. I mean, they're getting more payouts. It was such a good thing, and this Jon Rahm making a move to live is even better, greater of a thing because it's going to make the game better.
I would push back on that in this with this question. That's been Liv's goal the whole time. Golf but louder, all of these things. How is Liv? It's still stroke play. How is Liv markedly different than the PGA Tour? What makes it stand out? Like what? How
It,
actually is it
it
different?
gives you another aspect of the game. Not only do they have individuality and the guy that's going to shoot the lowest score over the weekend tournament, but it also throws in a team aspect of it. Not to mention it's louder, it's music, the noise, everything going on. Now we have like a team captain. We're trading players. Not that that's really making much sense yet, but who knows? Maybe this Wolf, Mike Wolf, or not Mike Wolf,
Matthew Wolf, yeah,
Matt
Matthew
Wolf.
Wolf.
Maybe this is gonna be like something for Tyler. I don't know. I don't quite understand the trade thing yet. But yes, absolutely. Having a team is a total different aspect on the game versus just an individual sport. And you brought up a point before we started recording. Match play. You love match play.
I do. I'm a
It,
bit of a golf sicko, but I love match play. I know it doesn't play well on TV, but I love it.
right, and that's just it. It doesn't play well on TV, but you kind of get that in a sense with the team play, teams versus teams and stuff like that. It makes it a little bit more fun.
And I think that when you explained it in the way that you did, I think it makes sense to me. Maybe your team captain is a world beater and he's beating everyone. Like Rom probably will on this tour, but you have to help each other on your team. You're accountable to everybody, and it might make a difference. And one thing that stands out to me, granted, this is also not American, but like the English Premier League soccer program, where they have relegation, you have to win a certain amount of games, get a certain amount of points, or you bounce down versus you bounce up. Teams from different towns, different cities, different places can play in the top tour. There's something about the team aspect and the trades that exist with Live that has some appeal. So from that perspective, I do understand it.
And this is only it's going on its second year now. So I mean, they're still it's their second year of their entire. I mean, they're spending billions of dollars on this, and they're still trying to figure it out and work out some kinks and make it a game that's fun to watch and still have that competitiveness that we like to watch. And they're bringing in the best players in the world to watch play golf. The thing that kills me a little bit about live golf is like the purse, the money, that type of thing. These guys already signed giant deals, giant deals. They already have the money. They're already getting paid. So what's it was like the Matt Wolf. Like Brooks Koepka said, hey, it just doesn't seem like he cares much about playing golf anymore. Like, is that because he already got paid? He already got that paycheck, and the money to play is just not. John Rahm, I already got six, 5, 6, whatever his number is, 300 million in the bank. I'm going to be writing that check. Like, what's pushing me to play any better? I think the biggest thing that could happen to live now that John Rahm is there is we need to get some rankings to make these guys want to play, that need to play, and then be good at golf. So when they show up at the majors, they can play competitive against the guys that have to play for the money weekend and weekend out.
And that's the juice. That's where Rom and the credibility and the name that he brings, the pedigree that he brings, could make the difference. Right now, Live Guys have to play well in 4 tournaments a year to gain world ranking points. The majors, because they're not getting it with LIV. And that's how Brooks Koepka made the Ryder Cup team. If they can get OWGR points on their weekly tournaments, it's going to make all the difference for LIV. That's going to bring them to legitimacy. It's going to make a ton of a difference. My question is, what concessions are the PGA Tour going to have to make in the wake of this LIV signing? Do you think the PGA Tour guys are going to have to fold in the sense that, well, maybe team golf is just the way that things are going now, and if we don't want to be a second tier league, we're going to have to start doing this? Do you think LIV has that kind of power?
I mean, absolutely. They've already changed the game of the PGA, or not the game. They've already changed a lot of different aspects of the PGA Tour with all these players leaving and saying, hey, you know, the PGA Tour is great and everything, but what's going on at the LIV? It seems to be a little bit better, and that's why guys are leaving. I mean, obviously the money's great, but they're leaving because things do seem... These guys, when they show up to the majors, they go to the same locker room. They still talk. Brooks Koepka was at the Ryder Cup with these guys. Like, he has had conversations with these guys about his time on the LIV Tour. And like I said before, the LIV Tour is still young, and there's going to be some growing pains and things as fans that we don't like and we want to see changed. But those things need to be able to, without major criticism, need to be able to work themselves out so that we can see a greater product than what the PGA Tour is outdated. We need the LIV Tour and the PGA Tour to come together and make that, but that's not going to happen. Jay Monahan's an idiot. The guy has painted himself into a corner. He has lied. He's lied blatantly on TV and to people, and backdoor money and all this stuff. So I mean, it's already that the PGA Tour is growing, is just in the shadow of the LIV Tour right now with people leaving, and there's going to be more to leave soon.
And it looks like Rahm capitalized. If we go back a couple of months, maybe a year, whatever it was, to Will Zalatoris' $130 million that he turned down because he was honestly, like, he was sold a bill of goods. He probably believed Jay Monahan at the time, like, the PGA Tour is the place to be. This is where you want to stay. We're gonna make this worth your while. Him, Hideki Matsuyama turning down, like, potentially rumors were $400 million. Those two have to be kicking themselves, because at this point, if I'm a guy who gets an offer, if I'm a golfer who gets an offer, I'm taking it, because I don't know where this is going. LIV might be the answer going forward, and I want that money. I'm kicking myself if I'm some of those guys who didn't take that money. Who do you think that guys will start to take that money in the future?
Well, and you brought up before we started recording here that other option that LIV gave the PGA Tour that they turned down.
The $1 billion equalization thing?
Yeah, the equalization of the $1 billion. Now, what that was they're saying, hey, we'll give you, we sent you guys the offer pre-June of when everything kind of was happening.
When that framework happened, yeah.
Yeah, when the framework happened. They sent everyone an offer, and they say, hey, the offer's still going to stand, but what we're going to do instead is we're going to take the $1 billion and we'll divide it.
Right, so Hideki might not make $400 million this time around, but out of that billion, because that was almost half of that billion, that would be insane. So you're going to lose a little bit maybe, but we're still going to give you the opportunity. And it appears that the PGA Tour, or like their board of directors or whatever it is, the pack, like, turned it down. It's insanity.
These guys are killing their pensions because without the PGA Tour, they don't have what, Nate?
Does that exist? What about all of the retired golfers? And that could be the reason. I don't know.
Nate was getting hot about this. He was getting hot about that.
Fired up, because that could be the reason that, you know, Brandel and Colt Knost, who are now TV commentators, but they have a PGA Tour pension because they did play on tour. They're probably outspoken about the PGA Tour because they're protecting that pension. If the PGA Tour folds, does that pension still exist? I don't know. I think some of that still needs to be fleshed out, but I could see where they're worried.
I love it. It's golf is great right now.